Now I am going to start module 3 of chapter 3. In module 2 we have discussed with a partial differential equation linear with constant coefficients, and we have also discussed with the equation with variable coefficients when the equation is given in Cauchy-Euler form. In this module we shall discuss with a linear second order partial differential equation with variable coefficients, and we shall show that with some suitable transformation of the independent variables, any second order linear partial differential equation can be transformed into some normal form, and this form is known as canonical form, and this canonical form is useful to categorize any second order linear differential equation. There are three types of canonical forms. They are parabolic, elliptical and hyperbolic. Apart from canonical form, I shall discuss a very powerful method which is known as Riemann's method or Green's function method to find solution of a linear hyperbolic partial differential equation. So, let us go to the first slide of this module. The general form of a linear second order partial differential equation can be written in this form, which is given in equation number 1, capital R smaller plus capital S small s plus capital T small t plus small f, which is function of x, y, z, p, q equals to 0. Here I need to mention that smaller is the partial derivative of capital Z with respect to x twice. That means smaller is del 2 z del x square and small s is del 2 z del x del y and small t is del 2 z del y square and small p is del z del x and small q is del z del y. The equation can be written in the form also L z plus f equals to 0, where the operator capital L is equivalent to capital R del 2 del x square plus capital S del 2 del x del y plus capital T del 2 del y square, and each of R, S, T is a function of x and y, and we also assume that these functions possesses continuous partial derivatives of all orders with respect to x and y. Now we can categorize equation 1 into 3 categories. Those are hyperbolic, parabolic and elliptic. So, equation 1 is said to be hyperbolic if a square minus 4 RT is greater than 0, and it is called parabolic if a square minus 4 RT equals to 0, and it is called elliptic if a square minus 4 RT is less than 0 at any point x0, y0. To obtain the normal form, we need a transformation to the independent variables. So, let us take that transformation as xi and eta. So, xi is some function of x and y, and eta is also some function of x and y. And we also assume that xi and eta, they are continuously differentiable. And one important assumption is the Jacobian of this transformation j equals to del xi eta by del xy, which can be written in determinant form as xi x xi y eta x eta y is equal to xi x eta y minus xi y eta x, and this is not equals to 0. So, one of the basic assumption in this transformation is the Jacobian of this transformation is not equals to 0. If Jacobian of this transformation becomes 0, then we cannot choose xi and eta as our independent variables. They will become dependent. Now, we want to write the given equation in terms of the new independent variables xi and eta, and we are writing the dependent variable zeta in the transformed space instead of z. So, small p, which is del z del x, can be written as del zeta del xi into del xi del x plus del zeta del eta into del eta del x. Also, q can be written as zeta xi into xi y plus zeta eta into eta y. Similarly, the quantity smaller, which is del 2 z del x square, can be written in terms of the function xi, eta and zeta, and the s, which is del 2 z del x del y, it can be written in the similar way. Also, we can see the variable t, which is del 2 z del y square, it can also be written in terms of xi, eta and zeta. So, using this transformation, so if we substitute these values in the original equation, that means in equation number 1, then equation 1 is transformed into the form which is written in equation number 4, which is capital A into zeta of xi xi plus 2b zeta of xi eta plus A into zeta eta eta equals to capital F, where A is some function of xi x and xi y, and the function A is defined as A u v equals to r u square plus s u v plus t v square, and the function B is defined as, which is written in equation number 5, r u1 u2 plus half s u1 v2 plus u2 v1 plus t v1 v2, and the function capital F is also written here, which is given in this slide. If we observe, after this transformation, we get the coefficients of the second order derivatives are related by a relation which is written in equation number 6. B square minus s square is equal to s square minus 4 RT into j square. This j is the Jacobian of the transformation, which is given in equation number 3. Now, I shall discuss 3 cases separately. First, I am taking the case hyperbolic case, that means when capital A square minus 4 RT is greater than 0. So, in this case, we think about the equation r lambda square plus s lambda plus t equals to 0. Since s square minus 4 RT is greater than 0, this quadratic equation, the quadratic equation in lambda has 2 real and distinct roots. Let those roots are lambda 1 and lambda 2. Now, we choose xi and eta such that xi x equals to lambda 1 into xi y and eta x equals to lambda 2 into eta y. Now, think about the equation xi x minus lambda 1 xi y equals to 0. Now, the corresponding auxiliary equation, this is a first order partial differential equation. So, the corresponding auxiliary equation is dx by 1 equals to dy by minus lambda 1 equals to d xi by 0. So, solving this equation, we get d xi equals to 0 or xi equals to constant, and the another taking other 2 variables dx by 1 equals to dy by minus lambda 1. From this equation, we get another equation dy dx plus lambda 1, which is function of xy is equal to 0. Similarly, from the equation eta x equals to lambda 2 eta y, we get a solution eta xy equals to constant, and we get another equation dy dx plus lambda 2 xy equals to 0, which is written in equation number 8. So, from these two equations, now solving equation number 7, we get a integral, let f1 xy equals to constant, and solving 8 we get another integral f2 xy equals to 0. So, xi can be chosen as xi equals to f1 xy and eta equals to f2 xy. So, a xi x xi y becomes r into xi x square plus a s xi x xi y plus t xi y square. So, it becomes 0, which is shown in the slide, and a eta x eta y, in the similar way we can show that its value is also 0. Hence, the equation 6 gives. So, in this equation we get a xi x xi y 0, a eta x eta y equals to 0. So, it becomes b square equals to a square minus 4 rt into j square. So, since a square minus 4 rt is greater than 0, we get b square is greater than 0, and if we use this, we get the equation zeta xi eta equals to phi zeta eta xi zeta xi zeta eta, and this is our required canonical form for the hyperbolic partial differential equation. And the equation 11 can be obtained from equation 4. So, for a hyperbolic linear differential equation, this is the canonical form or the standard form. Now, we shall take one example. So, this is our given equation, which is a second order linear differential equation. Now, for this equation, capital R is xy, S is minus x square minus y square, capital T is minus xy. So, a square minus 4 rt, it can be calculated, which is a positive quantity. So, this is a hyperbolic type equation. Now, think about the quadratic equation r lambda square plus s lambda plus t equals to 0. So, substituting the values of r s t, it becomes the equation which is shown here. So, from this equation, the two roots lambda 1 lambda 2 are x by y and minus y by x. So, our one equation is dy dx plus x by y equals to 0. So, it gives one constant x square plus y square equals to constant, and the another equation dy dx minus y by x equals to 0, it gives another integral x by y is equal to constant. So, we can choose the transformation xi is equal to x square plus y square and eta equals to x by y. So, taking that transformation, we compute this quantity which is shown here, xi x, xi y, xi xx, xi xy, xi yy, eta x, eta y, eta xx, eta xy, eta yy. Now, substituting these values, we can compute the value of a xi x, xi y, and its value is 0. And similarly, we can prove that a of eta x, eta y, it is also 0, and the calculation is shown in the slide. Therefore, our equation becomes b equals to this, which is written here, x square plus y square whole square by y square, and small f becomes this y into zeta xi, xi x plus zeta eta, eta x minus x into zeta xi, xi y plus zeta eta, eta y minus 2 into x square minus y square, and capital F becomes minus 2 into x square minus y square. Now, if you substitute these values in the transform coordinate system, the equation becomes zeta xi eta equals to eta square minus 1 divided by eta square plus 1 whole square. So, the complete integral, so this is the canonical form and this is a second order partial differential equation with constant coefficient. So, we can solve it easily. So, its general solution is complementary function plus particular integral. So, the general solution can be written as zeta equals to f1 xi plus f2 eta minus xi eta by eta square plus 1. So, if we come back to our coordinate system x, y, z, the solution becomes z equals to f1 x square plus y square plus f2 x by y minus x into y. Now, I shall discuss about the parabolic case where a square minus 4 RT equals to 0. So, let us start from the quadratic equation r lambda square plus s lambda equals to 0. Since this is a parabolic equation, this quadratic equation has two equal roots. Let those roots are lambda. So, we choose one transformation xi as f1 xy, where f1 equals to constant is a solution of the equation dy dx plus lambda xy equals to 0. Now, a zeta x, xi x, xi y equals to 0 and a square minus 4 RT equals to 0. So, from equation 6 we have b equals to 0, but a eta x eta y cannot be 0, otherwise j will become 0. So, we cannot choose eta and xi as two independent coordinates. Thus, the equation 4 reduces to the form zeta eta eta equals to some function psi of xi eta zeta zeta xi zeta eta, which is written in equation number 12. So, this is the canonical form of a parabolic partial differential equation, and it can be solved easily because its coefficients are constant. Now, we shall take one example to illustrate the idea. So, this is the example where the equation is a linear second order differential equation. So, in this case capital R is x square, capital S is minus 2xy, capital T is y square. So, a square minus 4 RT equals to 0. Now, consider r lambda square plus s lambda plus t equals to 0. So, substituting the values of r, s, t, we get the quadratic equation which is written here. So, the roots of this equation is lambda equals to y by x, y by x. So, this is a repeated root. So, the solution can be obtained from the equation dy dx plus y by x equals to 0, and if we solve this equation we get one integral as xy equals to constant. So, one transformation can be taken as xi is equal to xy. The eta can be chosen arbitrarily provided the Jacobian of xi and eta is not equals to 0. So, we take in this case eta as y by x. So, our transformation is xi is equal to xy and eta is equal to y by x. So, using this transformation we can calculate the value of a as 0 and value of a xi x xi y is 0, but value of a eta x eta y is not equals to 0, its value is 4 into y square by x square. The detailed calculation can be seen in the slide, and the value of b is written here, it also becomes 0, and value of small f for this example it is written here and value of capital F, which is minus 8 into zeta eta minus 1 into y by x. Substituting these values, we get the equation in transform coordinate system as eta zeta eta eta plus 2 zeta eta minus 2 equals to 0, and its solution is zeta equals to f1 xi plus 1 by eta f2 xi plus eta. Now, in terms of x y z, the solution becomes z equals to f1 xy, where the value of xi is xy and value of eta is y by x. So, z equals to f1 xy plus x by y f2 xy plus x by y. So, it can be written in some different form like this, f1 xy plus x square by xy into f2 xy plus y by x. So, it can be written as z equals to phi 1 xy plus x square phi 2 xy plus y by x, where phi 1 xy is f1 xy and phi 2 xy is f2 xy by xy. Now, I shall discuss the elliptic case where a square minus 4 RT is less than 0. So, for this case, the quadratic equation r lambda square plus s lambda plus t equals to 0 has complex roots. Let those two roots are xi equals to alpha plus I beta and eta equals to alpha minus I beta. To get the normal form, for this case we need another transformation from xi eta to alpha beta. So, let us take alpha equals to half of xi plus eta and beta is equal to half of eta plus xi. This transformation is required because xi and eta, they are not real quantity, but we want to get the equation in real variables. But if we do this transformation, alpha and beta becomes real. Now, we want to write the equation in terms of the real variables alpha and beta. So, for that, here we computed del zeta del xi and del zeta del eta and del 2 zeta del xi del eta is 1 by 4 del 2 zeta del alpha square plus del 2 zeta del beta square, and the value of a xi x xi y, it becomes 0, and value of a eta x eta y, this is also 0, but the value of b square, it becomes negative. So, the equation 4 deduces to the form del 2 zeta del alpha square plus del 2 zeta del alpha beta square equals to chi, which is function of alpha beta zeta zeta alpha zeta beta. So, equation 13 is the canonical form or the normal form of a elliptical partial differential equation. Now, we are discussing one example which is elliptical. So, in this example, the values of r is 1, s is 2, capital T is 4 and small f is 2p plus 3q, and if we compute s square minus 4 RT, its value is less than 0. And the quadratic equation r lambda square plus s lambda plus 4 equals to 0, it has two complex roots minus 1 plus minus I into root 3. So, the characteristic equations are dy dx plus minus 1 plus I into root 3, that means this is lambda 1 equals to 0 and dy dx plus lambda 2 equals to 0. So, it has solution y plus lambda 1 x equals to constant and y plus lambda 2 x equals to constant. So, we can choose xi as y minus x plus I into root 3x and our eta as y minus x minus I into root 3x. Now, to get the equation in terms of some real variable, we do this substitution alpha equals to half of xi plus eta and beta equals to I by 2 eta minus xi. So, this gives alpha as y minus x and beta as root 3x. So, in terms of alpha and beta, the expression for A becomes 0 and the value of A eta x eta y, this is 0, zeta x zeta y, this is also 0, and the value of capital B after simplification becomes 0, and the value of capital F, which is minus zeta minus 2 root 3 zeta beta. So, the equation becomes zeta xi eta equals to 1 by 4 del 2 zeta del alpha square plus del 2 zeta del beta square. Therefore, the normal form becomes of the given example of the given equation becomes zeta alpha alpha plus zeta beta beta equals to minus 1 by 3 zeta alpha plus 2 root 3 zeta beta. Now, I am going to discuss a very powerful method known as Riemann's method or the method of Green's function to find solution of a linear hyperbolic partial differential equation. This method is very useful to find solution of a one dimensional wave equation. So, to explain that method, we need to go to the slide show. Suppose we have a linear hyperbolic partial differential equation which are in normal form, and the equation is written in equation number 1, del 2 z del x del y plus A del z del x plus B del z del y plus C z equals to f. So, in compact form we can write that L z is equal to f, where L is the operator, del 2 del x del y plus A del del x plus B del del y plus C. Let W be an arbitrary function of x and y such that its first order derivatives are continuous. So, for that function W, we can compute this W del 2 z del x del y minus z del 2 W del x del y as del del y of W del z del x minus del del x of z del W del y, and W A del z del x plus z del del x of A W is equal to del del x of A W z, and similarly the last relation. Now, if we compute this W L z minus z L star W, it becomes del u del x plus del v del y, where L star W is equal to del 2 W del x del y minus del del x of A W minus del del y of V W plus C W, and the function u is of the form A W z minus z del W del y, and V is equal to B W z plus W del z del y. The relation which is written in equation number 2 is called Lagrange identity, and the operator L star, which is defined in equation number 3, is called the adjoint operator of L. If these two operators means L star equals to L, then the operator L is called self adjoint. Now, consider an arc AB of a curve gamma on xy plane and P be an arbitrary point in this plane, and sigma be the area enclosed by the contour ABPA. You see the diagram, then it will be clear. Now, integration over sigma WL minus ZL star dx dy is equal to double integration over sigma del u del x plus del v del y, because these two quantities are same. This equals to integration of u dy minus v dx using Green's theorem. So, using Green's theorem, this surface integral becomes into a line integral over the curve C, where C is the closed contour ABPA. So, it can be seen in the figure ABPA. So, this is our closed contour small c. So, now this contour can be decomposed into 3 parts. One is along the curve A to B, another part is B to P, and from P to A. So, we are dividing the contour C into 3 parts, A to B, u dy minus v dx plus B to P. If you see the line B to P, here there is no any change of x. So, dx equals to 0 along BP. So, here the dx part is 0, only u dy is present, and the along the curve P to A there is no any change of y. So, dy is 0. So, here P to A v dx part is there. Now, integration of P to A v dx can be written as P to A. So, if we substitute the value of v, we get b wz plus w del z del x dx. So, it with some manipulation we can write in this way also, P to A z vw minus del w del x dx plus P to A del del x of zw dx. So, this equals to, which is written in the last line of this slide, P to A z into bw minus del w del x dx plus zw at the point A minus zw at the point B. So, we can find the value of zw at the point P as zwa plus integration P to A z bw minus del w del x dx minus P to A v dx. So, from this zwa plus integration A P to A z bw minus del w del x dx minus B to P u dy minus the expression which is written here, and these can be obtained using relation 5. So, using relation 5 we are substituting the value of P to A v dx. So, after that substitution the value of zw at P becomes this, which is written in equation number 6. Now, in this discussion you can notice that the function w is arbitrary. We did not assume any form of w. So, now we want to choose w in such a way that it satisfies these 4 conditions. So, w is such that L star w equals to 0 throughout the xy plane, and del w del x equals to b w when y equals to eta, and del w del y equals to a w when x equals to xi, and w equals to 1 when x equals to xi, y equals to eta. The function w which satisfies these 4 conditions is called a Green's function. The function which satisfies these conditions is called Green's function or Riemann's Green's function of Lz equals to fxy. So, value of z at the point P can be written with the expression which is written in equation number 7. So, the value of z at any point can be obtained if z and del z del x are prescribed on sigma. Again we know the relation zw at B minus zw at A equals to integration A to B del del x of zw dx plus del del y of zw dy. So, if we use this relation we can obtain another value of z at P which is written in equation number 8. Therefore, z at P can be also obtained if the values of z and del z del y are prescribed on sigma. Now, we take the average of the equation 7 and 8, we get the value of z at P as half of zwa plus zwb plus dot dot, which are written in equation number 9. So, we can see that if the values of z, del z del x and del z del y are prescribed on sigma, one can find the value of z at the point P. Now, we take one example to show how the Green's function helps to find solution of a given hyperbolic equation. So, take this example, and it is given that the Green's function for this equation w is x plus y into 2xy plus xi minus eta into x minus y plus 2 xi eta divided by xi plus eta whole cube. So, we have to find the solution of this the given differential equation which satisfies the condition z equals to 0, del z del x equals to 3x square on y is equal to x. So, the given equation, for this given equation the operator L is this which is written here, and the adjoining operator to L, L star, can be written this which is shown here. Now, this L star, now the Green's function for this example, for this equation will satisfy these 4 conditions: L star w equals to 0 throughout the xy plane, del w del x equals to 2 by x plus y into w on y is equal to eta, and del w del y equals to 2 by x plus y into w on x equals to xi, and w equals to 1 at xi eta. So, these 4 conditions are satisfied by our supplied Green's function w, and from this function one can calculate del w del x, del w del y, del 2w del x del y, and we can also calculate wl minus z L star equals to del u del x del v del y. So, u becomes 2 z w by x plus y minus z into del w del y, and v is 2 z w by x plus y plus z into del w del x. So, value of z at p is equal to z w a minus integration b to a w del z del x dx. So, using that we find the solution as, or z at p equals to minus 12 by xi plus eta cube integration xi to eta x to the power 5 plus x cube xi eta dx. So, z at xi eta becomes, after simplification, xi minus eta into 2 xi square minus xi eta plus 2 eta square. So, xi z x y equals to x minus y into 2 x square minus x y plus 2 y square. So, in this way we can find solution of a linear hyperbolic differential equation using Green's function. Thus, in module 3 of chapter 3, we have discussed about canonical form of a second order partial differential equation taking 2 independent variables. We have also discussed the powerful method or Green's function method to find solution of a linear hyperbolic differential equation. In this way, we end module 3 of chapter 3.